Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Pro Division with the tournament win for the quarterback tournament here in Golf Clash, the game. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, hit that bell button so you do get a notification every time there's a new video here for you all. Also, go to golfclashtommy.com, your portal for a bunch of free content for Golf Clash. Ultimate tournament guides, patreon.com/golfclashtommy for Pro Division or for any other division you might want to. New month, make sure you get your package. Follow the info box on the right hand side. Get the club distance adjustment, the elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I do suggest you to play with. Have in mind that these are suggestions. You don't have to follow if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. Let's go to hole number 1. So for hole number 1, we will play with the rock, and that is with the bottom right of the white ring by the rough line. I'm using 2.5 bar topspin and 2 bars of side spin to the right. +5 is the yardage mark with the rock level 7, which in that case mean that we will start at +1 with the rock 8 and plus, like just before, +1 with the rock level 9. Maximum distance +20. And then we obviously shall try to hit perfect. Unfortunately, a great right, but as we play with a very accurate club, we will have no problem getting the ball down towards the area we want to. Getting it down towards both of the two central bunkers there. 3-3-3 is the yardage, and you may wonder, why do I play such a short drive when I can just blast it down the right hand side? It's because we're looking for the funnel. You can see here now when we play with the sniper, we play with 5.5 bar backspin, which means that you can play with sniper level 8 or better. Have that in mind. We look for the top of the yellow ring by the fringe, and look when I do wiggle back and forth, you can see that the ball guideline stays inside the hole, and that is what we classify as a funnel. So we do want to drag the target to the right until we see the ball guideline to be just on the right side of the pin, speaking from looking at the pin, looking at the tee towards the pin. Adjustment from 3-3-3 is going to be 66% slider with a 10% over adjustment, and obviously you need to hit perfect. The ball bounces nicely, gets up the hill here and fall down, catches the funnel, and we make that one drop on the right side of the cup. Maybe we can argue that we do maybe need one extra decimal. It could be also my pull angle that was a little bit weird, but in the end though, 66% slider from 3-3-3 on hole 1, very, very good chance, and I do consider this one as a must drop. Hole number 2 is going to be difficult. This because the bushes and the tree will be in our face here. So we are going to start by being in +2, half a bar of topspin and half a bar of side spin to the right. Look at the ball guideline here now. It goes left of the pin, inside the funnel, and goes past the pin. And we need to have it there because otherwise we will have a problem with having the ball to not roll to the pin at all. I push my rings here, and you can see that once I pushed 5 rings, I start at the second ring to not have a problem when it comes to knowing where the bullseye are, so I do have a different type of marker. So I adjust, in this case, 8.1 rings, which is maximum distance +25. We clip the rough, we get into the funnel, and get that one on right side of the cup. We could argue that we do need 1.1 extra here, but this is a good shot. Have in mind, a bad great right may miss the rough, but I feel that bouncing on the fairway is something you should only do if you feel extremely uncomfortable with the rough bump and just take the birdie, because bouncing on that fairway will not give you many hole-in-ones. It will maybe get you close if so, but this shot here, if you follow the adjustment, and if you hit perfect, I can say with pretty good certainty that it's going to be a lot of hole-in-ones for you. For hole number 3, we do want to play with our quarterback. Here we can do play with the quarterback level 8 plus to achieve what we are looking for here. First and foremost, I do consider maybe looking to get the ball over to the fairway on the right, but I do in the end change my mind as I do feel that the water is going to be into a massive risk. Red ring by the rough line, and here we start at +6 with quarterback level 9, level 10. If you do play with quarterback level 8, you start at complete maximum. 2 bars of left spin to combine in that case with 4 bars of top spin is what we're gonna end up with in the end. Now we will and shall be adjusting a total of maximum distance +10 for our adjustment. Just look how hard I do have to find the correct topspin there. The thing that I would recommend you to do is that if you have the possibility, push the rings, because the tree there will be in your face, and that could be a problem if you're going to pull the reins. The thing is though, we do have a lot of room on that fairway, so it's not the end of the world if you are a little bit short or like a little bit heavy or short on your pull. 315 yards. From 315 yards, we will be playing with 1 bar of a backspin. Have in mind that I do play with the sniper level 10, and I will dig into some extra information when it comes to sniper in just a bit. 1 bar backspin, ball guideline to the hole here in my opinion. This as we do have a crosswind, direct crosswind. And now I do adjust medium distance with a 10% over adjustment, which for those of you using a slider is 50%. So from 315, we do play with the sniper level 10, and we play 50% slider, which is the same as medium distance +10. And we will notice here that we do get the camera angle to turn around. We know it's going to be close. We get that ball to be on the left side of the cup there, beautifully coming inside the hole. If we do have a sniper level 9, then we do have 2 yards less on your club. Then you need to add 4% extra compared to sniper level 10. So for an example, we shall be playing 54% slider with sniper level 9 from 315. And for sniper level 8, you should be playing 62% slider instead. And that is something that is very important, as the different club power definitely does affect the slider percentage here for hole number 3. For hole number 4, we were gonna start by having the red ring by the rough line, ball guideline through the hole. This is the starting position to help ourselves to have an easier time to find where we're looking at. Now, I'm using just a click of topspin with half a bar of side spin to the right. Weirdly enough, but yeah, it works. That is the only thing we are thinking about. Here, I do apply a method that is called 1-to-1 plus 0.2, which is the same as maximum distance plus 5 power 1 ball settings. So 5.9 rings for 5.7 miles per hour. Perfect ball. And the ball will in that case bounce nicely on the fairway. It turns around. We love this. And sure, we come in with a decent speed though, but that is really what happens in this hole many of the times, to be completely honest with you. You can play with a Titan as well if you do want to opt up the wind a little bit. You don't have to play with a Kingmaker, but I do feel that if we have the possibility to spend a Kingmaker here, it's always good to reduce the wind to the max what we can do with a free-to-play ball. Good chance here for hole number 4. For hole number 5, we do have a tailwind, and then we shall use the driver that gives us the most power and topspin possible. For me, it's an Apocalypse level 4. For you, it could be an Extra Mile or a Thor's Hammer. Again, you choose the driver that gives you the most power and topspin. So, we adjust maximum distance, no elevation, and then we push up to max, and we apply max overpower. Again, regardless of what driver you have, you shall go max overpower here. The plan is to have the first bounce above the rough and get to around 420 yards if possible. Obviously, a little bit further is better than going a little bit shorter. From 419 yards, I do play this one medium distance plus 10. But you can see here that I'm using a club that is not that much featured when it comes to making guide, which is the Saturn. I'm using all but 1 bar of backspin here, and going to go towards the fact that we do want to be able to play with a Saturn that is not in complete maxed out. Because if going maximum backspin here, we will apply only towards Saturn level 10, and we do want to cover at least a couple of lower levels of the Saturn. Medium distance plus 10, you can see that we get the ball to bounce nicely on the fairway, and we get in this one super duper close to drop, so a little bit extra adjustment there would have got that one to drop, like basically 1 decimal extra there. So this is a bonus if we get that one to drop, but the key here is to get the backspin enough so we are not going to have to play on the hill at the back, because I do not believe that the hill will give you any consistency compared to what we do get if we attack it directly with a backspin club. If you do not have the Saturn higher than level 7, then I would recommend to look at the Grim Reaper, because even if you do have the Grim Reaper, it's in a very low level, you do have a lot of backspin, and that is once again the only thing that we're looking for here for hole number 5. For hole number 6, we're going to play with a difficult wind. Here we do want to have tailwind, in my opinion, because that will simplify this shot a lot. But regardless of what wind we're having when it comes to crosswind or tailwind, we shall go for it. Meaning that we should be going with as much topspin possible and 1 bar of side spin to the left. I'm aiming with the left side of the inner ring just by the rough line. Adjust max, no elevation, push up to max, and then we will be applying max overpower here, no curl whatsoever. Try to hit perfect, but I know with overpower it is going to be difficult to hit perfect. Bouncing on the fairway over that piece of rough there, and then it will curl down to the right, and we are lucky now to stay on the fairway by the green. You will sometimes get yourself into the bunker on the left, and if you're very unlucky, your second bounce will clip the rough that is already on the top of the fairway, and then you will fall short. But in the end, we will have to go for this type of shot. I was thinking about having a layup shot as well as a backup, but at the same time that's not going to be consistent and something that I would like to play regardless. So we are playing to get down there, use a power 5 ball, and then get yourself a big focus on that max overpower shot. Those of you having more topspin on the drive than 6 bars will have a massive advantage. I can tell you that playing with 4.5 bar topspin will also get the ball down that hill. And then we do have a wedge towards the pin, which is going to be somewhat with straight tailwind here, which is obviously going to be very helpful. So try to align the ball guideline with the wind, so you give yourself a fault margin when it comes to over or under adjust your shot, and then you adjust your shot obviously as well. You can see here that I barely leave the ball guideline outside the cup there. So these type of wedges doesn't need that much adjustment. That is very important to have in mind. Right the pin, we take the eagle, but once again the drive is everything. If we mess up the drive, this could definitely be a birdie hole, but if we make the drive in a good way, we definitely get ourselves one up on some of our opponents. For hole number 7, we're gonna play the toughest of the par 3, and I would almost stretch towards that this is the toughest hole in the whole tournament to get consistently a drop at. 5.5 bar backspin and 2 bars of side spin to the right. I'm playing in absolute minimum distance with my quarterback having the red ring by the sand trap line. It's important to play with a sniper as a wood club to find that minimum distance line in an easy way. Going in with the Guardian or Cataclysm or Big Dog, for an example, you will not find that minimum distance line in as easy way as we do here now. Minimum distance with a 20% over adjustment, and then we're just going to try to hit perfect. We get in with a nice speed here, and the speed I'm very pleased with, but we miss just a little bit to the right. So what I would recommend is to play with 5.5 bar backspin still and go with 1.9 bar of side spin to the right instead. Have in mind that this shot can be played with quarterback level 9 and level 10 as it has the backspin. If you don't have the quarterback level 9 or 10, I recommend to change to the rocket and play the same type of structure. The only difference is that I would go with 1/3 of the red ring inside the sand trap to the right, because the rocket has a lower accuracy than the quarterback, and therefore the rings are in different sizes, and that's why we're gonna have to have at least visualize a different type of position. But quarterback level 9, level 10, then you follow this example here and just tweak the side spin a little bit to be 1.9 right side spin. For hole number 8, I strongly recommend you to use a Kingmaker minimum. And as we are trying to keep it free to play, that is the ball that we will go with here. 3 bars of left spin and then 4.5 bar top spin left side of the yellow ring by the rough line. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance plus 10. And you will see here that I do pull into overpower, which is also something we do need to add. Left side of the ball, just on the left edge of the adjustment ring, and I apply 4 rings of overpower with extra mile level 8, and that will be the same for extra mile level 7 and 9. If we do have extra mile level 6 or 5, I would recommend to go with 5 rings of overpower instead of 4. Very important, as otherwise you will fall short with extra mile level 5 and level 6. Second shot, we are going to go for a dunk. Look at the ball guideline. It's like a roller coaster on the green with all the bumpy parts. So if you're going to attack the pin by bouncing to it, then I can promise you that you will have a different outcome from time to time, because it's impossible to dial that type of shot in. So I'm going to go for a dunk. And if you haven't dunked before, this may be a good start for you actually, because this is a very, very fun dunk hole in my opinion. You adjust with having the blue arrows in the very back end of the cup. And then you will, in this case, play 40% slider is what I judge this shot to be, as we are not in complete minimum distance. But I can tell you that we will be in between minimum and medium distance every single time if we do have the ball on the fairway after our drive. When you are going to take your shot, one little extra thing that is very important is that you have your ball centered into the adjustment ring. Having any accidental overpower, or for that matter underpower or curl, that will definitely create a different outcome, and you will see yourself miss the shot if so. Otherwise, this dunk here is very, very good, and I strongly recommend it once again due to the bumpy green to get ourselves an eagle, which I would see as somewhat of a must on hole 8. For hole number 9, here I want you to play with the big topper, and that is in whatever level you have the big topper in. And here I'm using also a no movement type of shot, which means that I do not touch my target until it's time to adjust my rings. Maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, and we are using max top spin and 1 bar side spin to the right. Once we are done with our adjustment, we push up the max and apply 1 ring of overpower when it comes to big topper level 5 and 6. And that goes the same for level 4. If you do play with level 2 or 3, you should in that case go with 3 rings of overpower. If you do play with big topper level 1, you go with 4 rings of overpower, just to compensate for the less power you do have on the lower level type of big topper. But the big topper is strongly recommended here to do a double bounce over the rough, as we do want to gain distance, which, you know, the problem we do have playing with a normal driver, if we don't use a special ball and trying to keep it free to play, we are going to have to be very, very lucky if we're going to do a single bounce over that rough. So I don't want to gamble with that, and therefore I do a double bounce to make sure that I always going to get myself into a distance with my sniper. Now I do play with the top of the white ring by the rough line. You can see that I am in +5, which is close to max but not really max, and this also helps us display the fact that you can play with a lower level type of sniper without having the problem and going in between clubs. I'm using 3.5 to 4 bars of topspin, 1 bar side spin to the right. The pin stands on a little mound that is very, you know, what can I say? It does affect the ball if you just come towards the pin just in a slight bad angle. You can see there that I did get cut away by the tree, meaning that, okay, that could be a risk of clipping the tree. But no, you do not have that risk. You can see that I still not, even with a great right, you can still see that I did not clip the tree, and that is something that you shouldn't be concerned about. I did play that one a minus 10% elevation, and based on the true club distance. This is a tough one, but I do believe that the rough bump is most definitely going to be the best chance we do have dropping hole number 9, which would have been a super bonus when it comes to getting an albatross here for hole 9. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this playthrough for Pro Division with the tournament win for the quarterback tournament qualifying round edition. Video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Make sure you get your ultimate tournament guide package for Pro or for any other division at patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link directly in the description down below. Video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the quarterback tournament.